Greetings, superior beings, greetings, supreme being. We are all the human race. Our common enemy is death. Welcome on Try Something.Vegetarian on YouTube. I'm 𝙲𝙾𝙽𝚃𝚃, and this is the broadcast. Will Boris Johnson create World War III? Self-declared Zionist, new PM of Britain. So what have I planned for you all for this broadcast? Well, I'm going to review some articles. Of course, I think it's clear we have to prevent, stall, contain and end World War III. So I'm going into that, and basically I'm going to study if Boris Johnson could create World War III and if that could be their plan. It's clear some people have planned a population reduction to 500 million to rule the world from Jerusalem. And their book quotes prove that beyond any reasonable doubt, like their $1 million Georgia Guidestones under the pseudonym of Robert Christian, something that they were donated by Mr. Rockefeller under the pseudonym. But can they prove it? Do they have any evidence, or could it also be Mr. Rothschild or someone else? What did I check here? Boris Johnson hires Sky's Andrew Griffith as business advisor. The former Rothschild investor banker joined Sky in 1999, source ft.com. So I'm going to review some text articles. We see Theresa May makes farewell speech outside number 10 live. So let's see if that's still going on. 2,448 watching now. The Sun started streaming 4 hours ago. So let's fast forward more. Apparently she hasn't appeared yet, so we move on to the next thing. This basically, combined with the live broadcast about where Theresa May made a speech earlier, made me think about this Boris Johnson. And this is an NRC.nl Dutch article. Perhaps I will translate this into English. After Wednesday, Boris Johnson has to choose peace or war, according to this NRC.nl article. Premier May has no political power anymore. Boris Johnson is not premier yet, not prime minister yet. Iran utilizes the British interregnum fully, they claim, and I think that's kind of nonsensical when you have all these US troops in the Middle East. But we'll get to that later. Some other interesting video. This is The Last American Vagabond. He also has some interesting videos.
Be covering mostly tomorrow.
This is the video, Israel bombs Syria. I checked it, that's correct. Here you see the JerusalemPost.com article, jpost.com. Israel attacks Iranian stronghold in Syria report. Last month, the Syrian army said it had shot down a number of Israeli missiles targeting the location. And he also talks about UK admits US plan to take Grace 1 tanker, CIA secrecy bill in the US of Israel. 7,643 views. He's also getting top chat money. I gotta select another picture. This one is also interesting in relation to these possible false flag attacks on the 2 cancer oil tankers. Go Cuckoo Courageous, and Front Altair. So, false flag attack on 2 oil tankers. Eyewitness saw flying projectile hole in ship above waterline. I did a video about it, so this was the thumbnail for it. Lots of people have reported about the false flag attacks. More about it in less than half a minute probably. So here we see other recent news. Boris Johnson can use his affinity with Trump to calm the crisis over Iran. Could he do the opposite as well? British vessel transit strait where Iran sees tanker. Could Iran tensions push up petrol prices? BBC News. US may have downed more than 1 Iranian drone. CBS News, I'll go into that one as well. UK leader holds emergency session on Iran's seizure of tanker. Britain's inexplicable decision to pick a fight with Iran. Basically, it's possible that 𝚃𝙀, that is the 11th of August 2019, the World War already starts. That is the Armageddon Day, the end of day, some call it. Based on the 𝙲𝙾𝙽𝚃𝚁 Bible codes, there's an article about it online. We'll get into that in a minute as well. So this is that other article that I might read, cbsnews.com. US may have downed more than 1 Iranian drone. Oh yeah, there's Boris. The name reminded me of Boris the animal in Men in Black. A character that has centipedes or worms behind his eyes. Good movies. Men in Black. Also like what's the movie with Tom Cruise? Mission Impossible movies are also a good series. And some others. But that's just the name, of course. Other than that, there may not be any similarity or whatever between Boris Johnson and the Boris character in the Men in Black movies. Though, well, I don't know if he always wears black about that as well. Isn't this blue? Maybe dark blue, I don't know. This as well, this is more, so this is not totally black. So we know he's not Men in Black. Anyway, Boris Johnson, this is that article of FT.com. Boris Johnson hires guys Andrew Griffith as business advisor. And he's a former Rothschild investor banker. No, I Googled review. Oh yeah, the Dutch word, because I was thinking about doing the review about the NRC&L article, but then I changed that to English to reach a larger audience. English. Review, beoordeling in Dutch.
Review. Beoordeling.
And then I ran into this anti-Zionist league. Boris Johnson, Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson, born in America 19th June 1964, New York, is a Jewish politician and member of the Conservative Party, who has been mayor of London since 2008. Maternal great-grandfather was paleographer Elias Avery Lowe, born in Russia to a Jewish family, they write. Later on I will compare this with the wiki article. To deflect from his Jewish heritage, Boris has described himself as a, quote, one-man melting pot, unquote, with reference to his great-grandparentage. Boris is at any speech errors and alterations are made with synthetic telepathy, so it's done systematically. I'm not in on it. Boris is at pains to acknowledge his Turkish ancestry through paternal great-grandfather Ali Kemal Bey. However, when saying his Turkish blood, does he mean Young Turk perhaps? Young Turks were Jewish converts to Islam that were said to have committed the Armenian genocide during and after World War I. Also notably, Johnson is related to the Jewish ex-Prime Minister David Cameron, who is most vocal about his Jewish Zionism and Israel First position. Johnson is married to Marina Claire Wheeler, who is of mixed Indian Sikh descent. Well, you could argue it doesn't matter as long as World War III is prevented and universal peace is created. So first, the intro. And of course, like I already said, prevent, stall, contain, and end World War III. Those are the 4 phases that I advised everybody in the government to follow. I also did a broadcast about Theresa May and Rouhani recently. So there are other interesting broadcasts that will be mentioned by the speech engine. I'll use that speech engine. It's very hot in the Netherlands. It's 30.5 degrees or so in my room. Let's see, 32. Now it's 32 degrees in my room. And it's very well possible they have created that cold period and the previous heat wave in the Netherlands as well, to give the illusion global warming is real, the scam run by the NASA Masons that also faked the Apollo moon landings, proven beyond any reasonable doubt by NASA's own video material. For example, an astronaut throwing a cable. When that cable comes down, we can hear it through their microphone, and that's impossible on the moon, because on the moon there's a vacuum, there are no air molecules, we cannot hear sound on the moon. And this proves beyond any reasonable doubt that the Apollo moon landings are fake, a scam run by the NASA Masons. So if there are no air molecules, then you cannot hear sound. And that's easy to prove on Earth as well with a vacuum chamber. There's a video of it on YouTube with that ringing bell in that glass jar, and they pump the air out and you cannot hear the bell ring anymore. And when they let the air back in again, then you hear it ring. So it's impossible that the sound of that cable coming down reached the microphone in the astronaut's helmet, and there were no other microphones. So I suggest you all study it and watch the videos for yourself. There's another one where the astronauts drop a plate, and when that plate comes down you can clearly hear that. And there's no contact between the hand of the astronaut, astronaut some call it, and the plate. So that means that it's impossible that it's picked up by the microphone in the astronaut's helmet. But I made a top 10 of things that prove that Apollo moon landings are a scam run by NASA Masons, and also covered their other scams. For example, Hubble and Mars rover and a couple of others. And it may be for good reason to cover up the man-made flying saucers and real technology that they have to space travel, possibly teleport, cloak, become invisible, and levitate. That's done with coils. More about it in my previous broadcast. But this is about Boris Johnson, and also about other things that are important in relation to World War III prevention.
Threat World War III 14th of August 2016 Tisha B'Av in Torah, Bible Cons Tom 1.4K views 3 years ago. Threat Sunspot burst to Earth 14th of August 2016 Tisha B'Av in Torah, Bible Cons Tom 119 views 3 years ago. Question mark: Could World War III start on 𝙲𝙾𝙲𝚃 August 10, 2019 on the Roman calendar? Armageddon Prevention. Try Something.Vegetarian 13 views streamed 1 week ago. 𝚃𝙃 The Root of Destruction video 81K views 9 years ago. Georgia Guidestone Cube, Road to World War III 𝚃𝙃 3.8K views 4 years ago. Warning, 𝚃𝙃, the coming Third Temple in Jerusalem and August 11, 2019 Gematria Effect News updated 5 days ago. Donald Trump, I will be the last president. WW3 in Economic Collapse 2019 to 2020 paid drive 28K views 2 weeks ago. 10 countries guarantee to be in WW3. Is Trump the way to Armageddon? Steve Sciacolandi and Discover Ministries 2.3M views 2 years ago. Jews, 𝚃𝙃 and World War I. This Week in Jewish History, Henry Abramson 1.1K views 3 years ago. 𝚃𝙃, Building the Temple in Our Hearts, Rabbi Yitzchak 𝙲𝙰𝙲𝚃𝚃, Torah and Judaism 126 views 1 year ago. 𝚃𝙃, Stories from Destruction of First Beit HaMikdash Part 3 Toravad 2.9K views 6 years ago. Warning, August 11, 2019 and the connection to 𝚃𝙃, Gematria Highly Evolved 62 views 3 months ago. Pornya. Is population control the answer to combating climate change? France 24 English 978 views 1 year ago. Global warming is population reduction, not science. 𝙲𝙰𝙲𝚃𝚃.
So what's interesting, perhaps in relation to this, is that Tisha B'Av is the 9th of the 11th month on the Hebrew calendar, the 9th of the 11th month. So that's 9/11. And the Europeans, at least in the Netherlands, we'd write 11/9 for 9/11. And it's the same in Israel, so they also write 9/11 for the 9th of Av, 9th of the 11th month. Americans might turn that around.
4.8K views 9 months ago. Population reduction agenda equals WW3. Israel will allow BDS backing Congresswoman Omar Al to enter country. BDS demands are not anti-Semitic like the Yellow Vest demands are not anti-Semitic. The geek shall inherit the serf. Iranian Defense League, ideal. The crypto Jewry and the cryptocurrency. Kevin Campbell comment to video, Lord Christopher Monckton, global warming is a hoax. 257,223 views 11 months ago. Solar minimums, maximums and Earth magnetic shift has caused climate change for millions of years. Increased volcanic and earthquake activity is the result. As the current 1,500 volcanoes continue to darken the sky, we could see massive global cooling over the next decade. This activity has caused 7 civilizations to come and go on Earth. Many of these ancient cities from past civilizations are now underwater. Carbon emissions did not cause these civilizations to vanish. Solar cycles and magnetic pole shifts have. Anti-Goyamism, Google algorithm. All religious people are junkies that crave their next illusion vaccine shot. Boris Johnson was born to British parents on June 19, 1964 in Manhattan's Upper East Side in New York City. His birth was registered with both the U.S. authorities and the city's British consulate, thereby granting him both American and British citizenship. Johnson's mother was Charlotte Fawcett, the granddaughter of Elias Avery Lowe, a paleographer, who was a Russian Jewish immigrant to the U.S., and Helen Tracy Lowe Porter, a translator of Thomas Mann. Helen Tracy Porter was the daughter of Clara, née Holcomb, and Henry Clinton Porter. I am a passionate Zionist, declares Boris Johnson. Jewish News. JewishNews.timesofisrael.com. Farage was born in Farnborough, Kent, England, the son of Barbara, née Stevens, and Guy Justice Oscar Farage. Problem my dig. Zionism equals Zionist nationalism, walking with the Jews who created Christianity. Jewish Journal. JewishJournal.com. The USA will never be the Holy Land to them. It is possible that the centipedes in my and my father's body are genetically modified to be easier to control with synthetic telepathy, but they are not HERBIVORES, hybrid insects, of DARPA. Whatever it is, it can be part of advanced programming. That meant tell new tales. The USA will never be the Holy Land to the Muslim and the Jew? Nonsense call. Iran vs USA update. New false flag? The 𝙲𝙰𝙲𝚃 News 904 views streamed 3 days ago. Dick Cheney's false flag attack idea to start a war with Iran. Kenneth Chandler 39 views 3 days ago. UE tanker disappears in latest Iranian false flag. The political vigilante Graham Elwood 4.7k views 5 days ago. Another Iran false flag, and Epstein claims his global agreement makes him impossible to prosecute. The last American vagabond 16k views 1 week ago. America is resorting to false flags to start Iran war. Abby Martin Jr. Eclipse 797k views 3 weeks ago. Iran vs USA update. New false flag? The 𝙲𝙰𝙲𝚃 News 904 views streamed 3 days ago. It's all part of their endgame. The US may have shot down their own drone and blamed it on IRGC, which Trump designated as a terrorist organization. I have not checked where the drone came down exactly. Iran claims it was violating Iranian airspace. There is material, videos, of the drone wreckage available. CIA, Criminals in America or Chemtrails in America. CIA, debunking shills. The pill shill, Zionism, Jewish nationalist movement that has had as its goal the creation and support of a Jewish national state in Palestine, the ancient homeland of the Jews, Hebrew, Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel. Shouldn't that be the ancient homeland of the Palestinians, and Israel wiped Palestine of the map? So Zionism is a nationalist movement. NSDAP was a nationalist movement as well. The National Socialist German Workers' Party. The party grew out of smaller political groups with a nationalist orientation that formed in the last years of World War I. Wiki/Nazi_party and Zionists are nationalists, debunking the myth that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitic. TheGuardian.com. I'm forgiving that land.
So basically, here we can argue that nationalism crosses a line when it advocates Neuordnung, Third Reich, global government, population reduction to 500 million, and or to rule the world from Jerusalem after reducing global population to 500 million. So that is when you see that nationalism is not just concerning that country, but they're trying to turn the whole country, they're trying to turn the whole world into that country, basically. That's extreme nationalism, you could argue. So I'm against the imperialism and totalitarianism that some people are clearly in favor of, and prevent, stall, contain, and end World War III. So people don't want mutually assured destruction. Most people are against this long-planned world war, of course. And it's possible none without a Tesla plasma shield could survive World War III, and Putin's nuclear torpedoes would basically put all of the Netherlands underwater because of the 90-meter high tidal waves. So you have nuclear target maps, but are there maps of Putin's nuclear torpedoes? Where would they be set off, and what areas would be wiped out by the tsunami wave that these nuclear torpedoes, Putin's Poseidon, create?
To the Israelis to prevent World War III, a one-state solution, equal rights and a passport for all people living in Israel in return for the Temple Mount. but they have planned a world war, so they will not consider it. So you could call me a Zionist, in theory. The World Zionist Organization Knesset.gov.il, are all Jesuits Zionists? Are all Masons Zionists? One Twitter user alleged that the actor's shirt was emblazoned with a white supremacist dog whistle, and declared that Pratt was unequivocally the worst. Yahoo Movies UK reported, the dog whistle is on the left side of the shirt on the US flag. I think, I checked. It is very vague and other versions of the shirt don't have it. Even if there would be a dog whistle on it, it can also indicate a lover of dogs, and it could be a flute to charm the snake that is on the shirt as well. Be wiser than serpents, you'll. Dogma, a principle or set of principles laid down by an authority as incontrovertibly true. The simple gematria letter value of both the nuclear deal and Donald Trump is 138. Other words with a simple gematria letter value, A equals 1, Z equals 26, of 138, triple helix, pulsar wave, Lockheed Martin, forestalling, Felix Kjellberg, 911 call, I'll kill you, the Internet, hypocrisy, I am Indian American, Young Thug, Pamela Anderson, 0. Gematria is real, The Savior, Hadron Collider, George H. W. Bush, Mashiach, Master Mason, Apostle Paul, Ku Klux Klan, Necronomicon, Donald J. Trump, Baron Trump, Keep America Great, Christchurch, Astral Planes, period. If I'd rewrite 138, 138, it's ACH, AG, cha. US may have downed more than one Iranian drone, CENTCOM Commander Gen. Kenneth McKenzie says CBS News. It's like, yeah, we don't know exactly how many drones we shot down. It could be one, it could have been two. We now think, there are too many drones. We are so advanced it's hard, even for us, to know exactly how many drones we shot down, but this is our best estimate. Of course we cannot say this, but it's what we think. 1 drone, 2 drones, that seems about right to us. Unmanned drones anyway, so we're not keeping score. It's not that important. Nobody is gonna miss these drones, you know. Downed drones tell no tales. I forgot if it was one of ours. Überhaupt, could Kushner be Kissinger? Theoretically. And the man that plays Kissinger would have to be stand-in. Could Boris create World War III, and what is his connection with Rothschild? Boris Johnson hires Sky's Andrew Griffith as business advisor. The former Rothschild investor banker joined Sky in 1999. Source, Vietcom. How a U.S. nuclear strike actually works. 1,728,509 views. 19K854C. Mutually assured destruction works in their minds.
Okay. Well, then we can read some articles. I'm going to work on translating this while we can read the Jerusalem Post article, Israel attacks Iranian stronghold in Syria, or Boris Johnson hires Sky's Andrew Griffith. I think that's more on topic in this case, so let's do this.
Please use the sharing tools found via the share button at the top or side of articles. Copying articles to share with others is a breach of FT.com T&Cs and copyright policy. Email licensing@feed.com to buy additional rights. Subscribers may share up to 10 or 20 articles per month using the gift article service. More information can be found at https://www.feed.com/tour. https://www.feed.com/content/A73F2bot2ad3511E9. Boris Johnson hires Sky's Andrew Griffith as business advisor. New Conservative leader acts to improve ties with business amid no-deal Brexit concerns. Please use the sharing tools found via the share button at the top or side of articles. Copying articles to share. Please use the sharing tools found via the share button at the top or side of articles.
So I'm not gonna read that. ft.com has a sort of thing built in so you can't copy the thing. We can watch The Economics of Boris Johnson, perhaps.
And therefore I give notice that Boris Johnson is elected as the leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party.
Boris Johnson has just been elected leader of the Conservative Party, and on Wednesday he'll become Prime Minister. So, what does he face when he's looking at the UK economy? Well, of course, the Brexit decision is the primary thing he's got on his agenda, and that's going to be very difficult over the summer.
And we know the mantra of the campaign that has just gone by. In case you've forgotten it, you probably have. It's always a couple of, it is deliver Brexit, unite the country and defeat Jeremy Corbyn. And that is what we're going to do.
But the secondary thing is going to be the economic outlook, which is looking pretty bleak at the moment. The National Institute of Economic and Social Research said there was a 25% chance that we were already in recession. And when we get perhaps a hard Brexit in the autumn, that might make things more difficult still. So, what sort of thing is Boris likely to do? Well, he said he wants the economy to be going gangbusters by the time the UK leaves the EU on the 31st of October, and that might mean a budget early in the autumn, perhaps in September, where if you were going to do something, you'd probably have to cut VAT if you wanted to put money into people's pockets, add spending power to the economy very quickly. He's also said he wants to cut taxes on the rich by raising the higher rate threshold for income tax and on lower income earners by increasing the point at which you start paying national insurance. So we can certainly expect a looser attitude to the public finances from
So the presenter was on, but here we see Boris Johnson and a plate. Brexit now, freedom, independence, identity, democracy, sovereignty. So basically, qua Brexit needs EU Council approval. 20 countries representing at least 65% of the population must agree. Can this ever happen? The 20 countries, EU countries, would agree, 65% of the population must agree for Brexit to get through. But if there's a world war, then I think we're not going to see any Brexit. Perhaps it was an attempt of them to step out of the EU before the world war would happen. But of course it will take a long, long time before that could happen. So they're not out of the EU. They're not out of the EU yet. And there's now no world order yet. There's no world war yet. We still have clean air, clean water that we can store for free. And people can prepare with that radiological water filter and storable food. Go for the best, prepare for the worst. And it's possible it happens 𝚃𝙀, so it may be a good idea to take a holiday to a safe country, 1 or 2 days, just in case. I'm not guaranteeing that it will happen 𝚃𝙀, perhaps others, but I don't guarantee it.
A looser attitude to the public finances from this new Prime Minister. What that will mean for the economic outlook, I think, still depends on Brexit. If there's a hard Brexit, then I think we're in for a pretty turbulent times ahead. But if there's a smooth Brexit, if he's successful in renegotiating the withdrawal agreement and gets that through the Commons, then there's some upside there. And if he also cuts taxes, well, then maybe we'll see an acceleration of economic growth in the months ahead.
But in the meantime, the campaign is over and the work begins. Thank you all very much.
So Putin's nuclear torpedoes would also flood Britain to a certain extent. I covered it in one of my previous broadcasts with a map. So they are 90-meter high tsunami waves, formerly called tidal waves. And they haven't had that weapon since 2018, and there are videos of it on YouTube as well, of course. Or at least that's what I picked up about it. You can all Google it, so if it's wrong, let us know in the comments, or Skype Prologic999 so I can correct my my statement, basically. Trump, near the wall. I also visited the wall. You also have to go till Cam. And Trump may have done Kabbalah classes. And according to sources online, he's a crypto Jew as well as Putin, Theresa May, Macron, and Bill Gates. So I think that's it for this broadcast. All right. So then I have to wear my shirt. Because it looks cool. Well, with YouTube, you know, I do promote nudism in my other broadcasts, but I think it looks less professional. That it may be best if I wear a jacket, if it's really that important to change this timeline. So thank you all for watching. Please share this important broadcast on your timeline. Visit my channel @Something.Vegetarian on YouTube for other more important broadcasts. And do stuff to create universal peace, have a good time, healing stuff, perhaps eat ice cream. I think that they are generating these heat waves, like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, that they have geoengineering technology, they're modifying the jet stream, and you would have to compare what both sides are saying and then look for evidence that proves it either way. And if you have that, then you know it's a conspiracy fact and not a conspiracy theory. And I hope you all join me. I'm trying to lead by example, become conspiracy factists, not conspiracy theorists, and know your stuff and try to change this timeline yourself with broadcasts, with a Twitter page like Never Again World War, my new Twitter page, and I think that it does affect the timeline, also writing things in the chat. Perhaps you'd be surprised. So, thank you all for your likes and subscribes. And see you all next time on Something.Vegetarian for universal peace and creating perfect societies.